wonderforce.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to Talk Time Episode 2. This is actually going to be, more or less just a combination of course, the normal Talk Time topics, and, a story that happened today. Talk Time's actually going to be turning into something different. It's going to be going into, my everyday life. Some of you who, are subscribed to that I have on Xbox Live know that I have a job at a gas station. Am I proud of this? Not really, but you know what? It's a job, and it's something that I can hold my head high because I have a job at 16 that, I make $200-300 every 2 weeks, and I mean, it's hard work, and it's real money. But we're actually going to go and tell 3 stories that happened to me in the past 2 weeks. One of which is quite short, but it's one of my favorite. So, I was sweeping the front of the store and cleaning the windows to the doors coming in, and this mom and her 2 kids walk in. And I don't think nothing of it. I open the door for everybody. But I open the door, and they come in, and the kids instantly bolt away from her. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, it's about to go down. Mom's about to get pissed and start yelling. Well, about 3 seconds after they bolt off, they stop at the shelf right in front of the cash registers. Now, keep in mind, this is not a normal gas station. It's quite small. It's on the corner of a 4-way intersection, and it's in the middle of nowhere. I'm out in the boondocks. So it's rather different to work here than anywhere else. But as I'm sitting here, I see the 2 kids run up here. Now, we had just gotten a shipment in of like bobblehead pins and hats and stuff like that. Just the normal knick-knack things you'd see up at a register. And the pins, where it actually has Donald Trump's head on it, and you push it down and it talks and says things that he said in the past with his voice. And the little kid runs up, grabs it, and goes, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy, I want this." The mom takes, like, barely even a 2-second glance down at what the kid has, looks at her and goes, no. And just, like, walks away. Now, it may not seem as funny to you guys as it does to me, but, I've seen a lot of things. Keep in mind, I've only worked there about, actually, Friday will be 2 months, and I'm super happy about that. I'm glad that I have a job that is, 1, close to home, and 2, allows me to, not be too far away from seeing something pretty funny. But I walked past them, and these kids went back to this thing like 2 or 3 times before they got their items and left. But just for me to see that, see that mother goes, no, just killed me on the inside. I had to walk into the back room where all the extra stuff is, and I just busted out laughing. I was rolling. I had tears in my eyes. I was laughing so hard. But for me, it's easier for me to see it than and laugh at it than it would be to kind of explain it. Another one, and this is something just like heads up to everybody out there who your local gas station or something like this, any store local to you that does this. We sell like jackets, pants, overalls, and boots. Now, we sell more boots than any jacket, shirts, overalls, any of that. And we sell Rocky boots, Georgia Central, stuff like that, like the like heavy-duty work boots. And these 2 ladies came in, and they found a pair of boots they really liked. They asked me to get them a size, so I went and found it. And they said, "How much is it?" And we had just marked them down, so they were like $100. Keep in mind, we're not a cheap store. Being a quote-unquote convenience store, you're going to be paying a convenience fee for being right there, close to your home. But I told them the price, and they were like, "Oh, that's much too expensive. Can we come back here in like a couple hours?" Well, they were probably heading to the bank or something like that to get some cash, and I was like, "Sure, let me write your name down, wrote the name on a piece of paper, slapped it on the box, left the box on the counter. I said, by the time you get back, I'll probably be off shift. I'll leave a note for the people coming on. And I did just that. Well, as I leave, I said, okay, my next coworker is going to come on, see the note, understand what's going on, going to be peaches and cream. Well, a week goes by. Week and a half. 2 weeks. I went in today, and keep in mind that it is, or was, because I am now recording this at 12:50 a.m. on August 4th. It was, technically yesterday for me, but the day that I'm up. So it was on Wednesday. 2 weeks and a half. 2.5 weeks, sorry. I went in, the box was still sitting there. Name was on it. It looked exactly the same thing as I left it before. And I said, screw it. Took it, set it upstairs. Not even 30 seconds after I set that box down, they come walking back in the store. And at this point, I don't know what it was, but as soon as I saw them, it made me mad. And not for, any good reasons. I was mad for the reason that they said they'd be back, and they never did come back. That's why I was mad. And, and they're like, oh, we're here to get those shoes. I looked at them, and I probably shouldn't have, but I was like, oh, you mean the boots that we sold? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, you said you'd come back, later on that afternoon, and I decided to, leave them here. Well, no, you didn't come in for 2.5 weeks, so they sold. And she's like, but, and I said, bam, we don't hold on to things for weeks on end. And she said, I want to speak to your manager. Well, it just so happened my manager had known what was going on, and stepped over and said, he's right, we do not hold things that long. But long story short, we got her to understand what was going on. But on the inside, I was laughing because, of course, I had not sold the boots. Personally, and this is just me. I have not been working there long, but there's a side to me that's always really nice. But I had taken the boots, set them upstairs somewhere that no one else would think about grabbing them to sell to another customer, and I held on to them. Well, I brought them back down, and I was like, ma'am, these are your boots. We did not sell them. Just for now on, please understand that we don't hold on to these things. And that's just an overall thing for everyone to be aware of. No one at a gas station, convenience store, even at a shoe store where they sell the shoes and everything. If there's a specific thing that you want, be smart and just buy it right then. We don't want to hold on to your stuff. We don't. Will we do it? Yes. Why? That's our job. But, that was a big one. And then, on the side of things that really warmed my heart today, as some of you know, some of you don't know, before I worked at this gas station, I actually worked with a IT professional. He has a website, cyberbuddy.com, and I'll leave a link to it in my description, but he's a real nice guy, and I worked for him for about a year, on and off, but real nice guy. He taught me a lot about computers and technology that I didn't really know beforehand, and I really have to thank him for everything he taught me and how I got to learn with him, and he really made a big influence in my life. But I shared my story with these guys, and now keep in mind, it is a gas station. I do propane, kerosene, that sort of thing, and these guys want some propane. Well, these guys work up in the attic, changing shingles, all the stuff, beams and stuff like that, and they're talking about their day, and they said, it gets really hot, and I told them about the time I was in Atlanta, helping my boss, and we were installing this sound system for this guy, and I was telling them how, even though it was 70-something degrees outside, it was 90 degrees in that attic, and it was hot, and because it was an old house, the beams were low, and I smacked my head everywhere. Keep in mind, I am 6'2", so I'm a taller guy, so any beams that are lower than a house built in 2016, I'm pretty much guaranteed to smack my head every time I walk. But I was telling them about that, and I finished their propane, and I turned off the pump, and I loaded up in their trunk, and I was like, hey, y'all have a nice day. Everything that you usually do. And as I go to lock the gate, I turn around, and the guys are sitting in the truck, and they backed out of their parking space. But they rolled down the window, and they had said, hey, buddy, come here. Now, what happened really warmed my heart, because it really shows that there's real nice people out there. Keep in mind, my last job, I was paid $15 an hour. That was for not the whole hour, but only for the time I was sitting in front of somebody helping them. And I do make minimum wage now. But the difference is say more more at all times paycheck. So this isn't a just because I'm doing one thing paycheck. But as I walk up to the truck, the man holds out his hand and he says, thank you, and keep your head high. And he handed me a $5 bill. Now, normally, I wouldn't take it. And I told the man I don't want it. I said, so you keep your money, you work harder than I do. And that is true. He talks about getting up at the break of dawn and then not getting off until 6, 7 o'clock at night. And I only work 6 or 8 hour shifts anyways. So I'm not on my feet as much as he is, and that's just straight up facts. And the man said, no, here. And he handed me the money. He said, you've been through what I've been through, so it's hard work. He said, it's hot out here, go inside to get yourself a drink. No, give me a call. And he handed me his number and stuff like that, and I sat the number down on the back counter of the back room, and it's by my stuff. So I'm really glad that I met him and able to see what's going on in other people's lives. But I want that to really sink in for everybody else, that a man took his money. Keep in mind, he already paid for his propane. That was not for the propane at all. He had already paid inside. But that man was very nice, and I thanked him 3 or 4 times before I even stepped away from the truck. I said, thank you, sir, thank you so much. But I want everyone to think about what's really the big picture there. A man who works hard for his money gave money to someone who I wouldn't say is less fortunate, but had a disadvantage when it came to making money. Have I done that myself? Yes, I have. Just because it seems like the right thing to do. And not always does it seem like the right thing, but there's times that you'll be sitting there and you'll think about something and you'll understand what's up. But those are the 3 stories that have really piqued up my my attitude and my emotions these past couple of weeks. I know I said 3, but we're going to make a little announcement real quick. Boop, 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 boop. I don't know what the hell that was. Announcement time. I will be doing a new Q&A video on Saturday, August 7th. Is it going to be 7th? Thursday, Friday, sorry. August 6th. So, on August 6th, there will be another Q&A video. Please remember to go at the Purple Pickle Twitter and ask questions on there, and that link will also be in the description. Let's see if we can get 20 likes on this. That means that pretty much everyone has to like this video. But let's get 20 likes on this, and let's keep our heads high. And remember, guys, no matter what, you have a purpose. And whether that purpose is just to sit in a dark room and look at dank memes 24/7, or it is to help the unfortunate, you have a purpose. Everyone take care, smile, and go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the Purple Pickle Battlefield.